Understanding the anatomy of engagement ring often is the key to choosing perfect engagement ring. By the end of this video, you will know the difference between the gallery and the setting, what type of prongs are there, what types of stones are there, what types of shank are there, and what shanks are. Also, it's extremely important to speak the same language with your jeweler, because when you going to contact to your jeweler, he's going to be referring back to you with those words like shank and other things, and you need to clearly understand what he is talking about. Because I often see my clients on the meetings when I'm referring with those terminologies, they like, not clearly knowing what I'm actually talking about, and I'm explaining them the autonomy of an engagement ring. In this video, I'm going to be doing exactly the same. First of all, let's talk about the basis of the ring, about the band or the shank itself. You can have a shank in a few different styles. It could be the plain band. A plain band is timeless. It's all about simplicity, focusing your attention on the center stone. Perfect for minimalistic engagement rings or anyone who is appreciating simplicity and elegance. Next one is the Pavé band. Pavé band has lots of the diamonds on the surface of the band itself. It could be 2/3 of the band covered with the stones, it could be 1/3, it could be the entire band, depending on your style preferences or the budget itself. These are popular for someone who wants extra spark on the install, someone who wants their ring to be as fancy, as sparkly as possible. Next one is the split shank. If you want your ring to be a little bit more dramatic, that's the setting for you. Basically, the shank is going to be splitted and connected to the gallery with the 2 points on each side. Next one is the Cathedral shank. This one is for someone who looking for the classical look. This one been around for a very long time. The band slopes upward towards the center stone, creating the height and overall the dramatic look. And of course, the next one is the custom settings. Anything you can imagine out there. There is plenty of example on our website what is possible, and everything is actually possible. There is no rules when it comes to the custom pieces. Anything you can imagine can be created. Also, almost all of those bands can have a different shapes itself. It can be perfectly round, very comfortable classic look. It can be flat, which gonna give you a minimalistic modern look, and it's going to stand out, it's going to be pretty bold. It can be somewhere in between, which we usually refer to as the comfort feed. It could be the knife edge, which is pretty bold and angular, and plenty of other options as well. Metals. We're not gonna go too deep in this video about it. I have different videos talking about different golds, about different metals, and comparing the white gold with the platinum, 14 karat gold with the 18 karat gold. I just want to mention here that you have the choice of precious metal, which are yellow gold, rose gold, and white gold, and the platinum. Sometimes you can do the silver, let's say for the promise ring, but that's about it over here. And there is non-precious metal like turquoise and other things. Honestly, they're not suitable for the wedding band or the engagement ring because we are talking about a special occasion over here. And I know that some of those wedding bands exist, but in my opinion, it's not suitable for such a special occasion as the wedding or the engagement itself. Next, let's talk about the setting itself. And I quite often hear the question, what is the difference between the setting and the gallery? The setting is the whole mechanism that holds your center stone. And the setting itself includes the gallery and the prongs and a few other things. So let's talk about it step by step. First of all, let's talk about the prongs. Prongs going to hold your center stone in the place, and the side stones probably too. There is a few other options how to hold your stone, but the prong setting is the most common one out there. Prongs themselves, that's little pieces of metals that is holding your center stone in place. You could have 4 of them, you could have 6 of them, or any other amount depending on your design. Prong can look differently. They could be round, that's the most common option out there, but make sure you know that there are others. There is a claw prongs out there that has a pretty beautiful dramatic look that it can add to your design. There is something in between. There is a shorter claw prongs like that. There is a tap prongs as well, which is perfect for our deco designs. Just make sure you know all of your options and not just agreeing on the first one that is shown to you. But as I mentioned, that's not the only option to hold your center stone in place. There's a few others. There is the Bezel setting, for example, which is the most secure setting out there, that is basically surround your entire stone with a thin layer of metals. It's great in a few scenarios when you really want to protect your stone from anything that can impact it. Let's say your significant other not very good with things and constantly hitting their rings against something. The Bezel setting is your best choice. There is the tension settings, quite unique out there, probably the rarest, where the tension of the ring itself just hold the stone in place. And there is of course the halo settings that just surround the center stone with a bunch of little diamonds, and it widens the diamond itself. It just makes it bigger, makes it spark more. It's pretty popular out there. At least it was popular for the last 10 years or so. And of course, there is the custom settings. Because, for example, our leaf ring doesn't have the name for its setting. It's pretty unique. You can refer it as the prong settings maybe, but this stone itself held by the leaves out there. Or our infinity ring that we did for anniversary of our client, it doesn't have the name either. It's something in between of the tension setting, and the tension comes from the gallery itself. Maybe you can call it prong setting, but it's nothing in particular. It's just a unique setting that we created for our clients specifically. And there is plenty of other options out there. Since we talked about the prongs and later we're gonna talk about the gallery, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, about the center stone itself. Just briefly, because I have plenty of videos on my channel where I'm talking about different types of diamonds, sapphires, and anything in between, so check those out. You just need to know that you have plenty of options out there. You have, besides your diamonds, which can be also in the different colors, and I have the separate video about it, you have the sapphires, you have emeralds, you have morganites, aquamarines, and plenty of other options. You have different shapes as well. You have round shapes, you have princess, ovals, cushions, emerald, and you have custom shapes, custom cuts as well. Also, two things that I want you to remember, that shape and the cut is the different things. Shapes refer to the shape of the stone itself, what kind of shape it is, whether it's round, oval, or emerald. And the cut refers to the quality of the cut of the stone, whether it's a shallow cut or the deep cut or the perfect cut itself. And it is very important to understand the difference between those, because, for example, in the deep cut, you're going to have smaller surface and the bigger carat weight, and in the shallow cut, you're going to have the bigger surface. Then that's what is important, that's what we're looking at, and the smaller carat weight. But you want to stay in between, and in the other videos I'm explaining why. And now let's talk about the gallery and the bridge. The gallery itself, it's the construction complex, if you will, that holds your center stone. Again, the setting, that's the whole thing, and the gallery, that's a specific part that holds your stones. A gallery can be different. A gallery can be an open gallery, which allows more light to pass through the center stone, enhancing the sparks. That's perfect for someone who's looking for a minimalistic design and needs to have more light into their center stone. There is a decorative galleries, and by the name you can say that there is lots of going on in those galleries. There is additional lines, stones, and few other things. And there is the hidden galleries, where you cannot see the stones in the gallery itself if you're looking from the top of the stone. You can only see an additional details when you look in from the side of the stone itself. And there is, of course, custom galleries. That's what we specialize in on. We specialize in custom engagement rings. In our galleries, lots of the time doesn't have a name because we're working with something absolutely unique. We're creating floral designs, we're creating streamlined Art Deco designs that don't have the names yet, and many other things. We're just proving that everything is possible out there. Everything that you can imagine is possible. And the bridge, it's just a small metal part that connects both sides of the band with each other, give it an additional strength. There is some bands that doesn't have it, but you have to be very careful with that, and you want to make sure that your jeweler know what he is doing when you removing the bridge itself. It's better that you have something else that holds the band together in this case. It could be the part of the gallery itself, it could be the hidden halo settings, let's say, but something has to hold this ring together. Because as the concept itself, as the image, it might look beautiful and minimalistic, but on a daily basis, after a couple of years you're wearing it, it can fall apart. So be careful with that. And lastly, I want to talk about the accent stones and details, because you want your ring to be unique. You want it to be unique as your significant other, right? So you want to add the details that's going to make it unique. You might want to add the side stones, might want to add the Pavé stones or any decoration of any sort. Check out our website, you will see plenty of examples of what is actually possible. And sometimes you can start with the classic shape of the ring itself. You can choose one of the most common settings out there, and you decorate it in a way that is going to be looking absolutely unique and special for you. Just make sure those options are available and you invest in your time into researching and reading or watching about those options. Now, when you know the autonomy of the engagement ring, I bet it's much simpler to choose your perfect, your unique engagement ring. Because when you're just starting with this project, it's pretty complex and pretty overwhelming, and you might just panic looking at all of this. But if you will break down this entire task into the small pieces, into the shank, the gallery, the center stone, the side stone, the elements and everything becomes a little bit more approachable, if you will. So that's why it's incredibly important to know the anatomy of the engagement ring. Please let me know if you're gonna have any questions. I'm always here to answer them, and thank you so much for watching.